Trying to decide if the Disney Genie Plus is worth it for your upcoming trip? I'm about to walk you through the different strategies that you can use using either the non-paid Disney Genie service or the paid Disney Genie Plus with the individual lightning lanes a la carte kind of sprinkled in there. So let's go. With the Disney Genie and the Disney Genie Plus, this just opened up a whole new world of possibilities and strategies for going to the parks. No matter which service you're using, whether it's the non-paid Disney Genie or it is the Disney Genie Plus, which is the paid service, you need to know what you want to do in each park on each day. You need to have a top 8 to 10 list of all of your must-do shows, must-do rides, must-do entertainment, whatever it is. So with the non-paid service, what you can do is you can go in each day before your trip, you can do this and you can pick all the different things that you want to accomplish. Disney Pros, we are loving the tip board, and what that does is it gives you everything at a glance. It's going to give you all the things that you pinned, and those things that you pinned are going to be at the top of the list, and it's going to tell you the wait times that is current for that moment of time that you're looking at it. What you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to go into that ride and click it, and it's going to give you a forecasted wait time. So this is going to tell you when the ride waits are going to spike and then when they're going to go down. So this is key in utilizing the Disney Genie and the perfect time for you to get in line for your must-do rides for that day. Whenever the parks reopened, there were not a lot of on-site resort guest perks. It just seemed like that they were going away. Now that all of the new things have been rolling out for the 50th, all the new things with the Disney Genie rolling out, we are seeing more and more that staying on site definitely has its perks, and let me explain why. So first up, every morning, every day of the week, every park has early entry for on-site guests. That means that you can get into the park officially 30 minutes before all other guests. You can take it a step further with that and being there an extra 45 minutes beforehand and being one of the first people in line. You can knock out Seven Dwarfs Mine Train in Magic Kingdom, which is one of those paper rides. You can knock out Space Mountain, which is another one of those pay-per rides. For those guests that are not staying on site, I do still think that you need to technically rope drop the park. So if Hollywood Studios opens at 9 a.m., I still think that you need to be there about 8:15, as early as you can to start getting up ahead of the line. So what's going to happen is they're going to open up the park, and most people are going to head to Mickey's Runaway Railway, Rise of the Resistance, Slinky Dog Dash, and Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. So for those of you that cannot get into the park until it officially opens, what you're going to want to do is you are going to want to go to Tower of Terror, and you're going to want to go to Rock and Roller Coaster and knock those two out because they are side by side, and they're just going to be able to get on one, get done, get on the other one, and you have two big rides knocked out right off the bat. And you are visiting Magic Kingdom, so this is a great strategy for you to use if you want to use the non-paid version. So all the extra magic hours that the on-site guests get are going to be on the right side of the park. So they're going to be able to get into Fantasyland, they're going to be able to get into Tomorrowland, and all of that area over there. So that means that they're already going to be in line for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, they're already going to be in line for Space Mountain and stuff like that. So what you want to do is you want to get to the park early, and then what you're going to do is get into the hub, and you are going to go to the left side of the park. So you're going to want to hit Jungle Cruise first thing in the morning. You're going to want to hit Pirates of the Caribbean first thing in the morning. Splash Mountain. I know you're going to get wet, but still, if you don't want to have to wait in a longer line later in the day, you're going to want to do that. And then of course you're also going to want to hit Haunted Mansion. That's one that's going to get a longer wait later in the day. And then of course Big Thunder Railroad. So those are the ones that you're going to want to hit on the left side of the park. Also at the moment, if you are staying at a deluxe resort, those resorts have extra magic hours at night on certain parks on certain days. So you can absolutely take advantage of the rides that are open during that time frame to not have to pay for the Disney Genie Plus if you are staying at a deluxe resort for your vacation. Also, with knowing what your must-dos are for that day, you really need to know what your must-dos are popular, because that's also going to take into account how long a good wait time is. So of course, if Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is on your list, if Peter Pan is on your list, if Pirates of the Caribbean is on your list, if Space Mountain is on your list, those are popular rides. So you know that, say, a 60-minute wait time is decent. 45 and under is ideal whenever you are going, especially during a very busy time. So whenever you start getting into that 70-minute wait time, 80-minute wait time, 110-minute wait time. So if you are not using the Disney Genie Plus service, those are the times that you do not want to get in line. You want to shoot for the 60 or 45-minute and under wait time. Disney is overshooting waits. So some are spot on, especially if you're there in midday whenever the park is just at its peak, and that's usually between like 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. That time frame right there is when so many people are in the parks and waits are at their highest. So usually during that time frame, wait times are predicted are going to be about the time that you're going to wait. Before that and after that, then your wait times are going to vary, and Disney's probably going to overshoot your wait times. If you get to a point to where all of your must-dos just have long waits all day long, another tip and another strategy for you to use is riding that ride right before park closing. So usually within that hour mark right before park closing, and this also is if you're not watching the fireworks, this also works as well, because sometimes the fireworks will be all the way up until park closing. So sometimes you have to weigh this option depending on what is more important to you. So what you're going to want to do is you can get in line for any ride at the end of the night as long as the park has not officially closed. So if you're in Magic Kingdom, you still haven't ridden Seven Dwarfs Mine Train because it's been long all day long, you can get in line right before park closing and normally have a like 20 to 30 minute wait, which is perfect, spot on for that ride because it is still so popular. Keep in mind though, at the end of the night, sometimes Disney will keep those ride waits high. It'll probably stay like at the 45-50 minute mark, but if you're within like 10 or 15 minutes of park closing, I promise the ride wait is not going to be that long. Now this can happen all the way across the park. This can even happen for Rise of the Resistance in Hollywood Studios. I have done that before, and so all of those popular rides, you can do this. The only thing that I don't like about this strategy is if you love the ride that much, you don't have a second time to go on it. So if you're waiting until all the way at the end of the night to be able to do that, then that's your one shot. What I like to do is I like to try and rope drop and get to one of those really popular rides in the beginning of the day, ride it, and if I love it and I have to do it again before I leave, then I use that strategy and I ride it again before I leave the park. So, you know, it's just kind of a give and take and just kind of depends. But if you're just not going to wait in an hour or more longer line all the way through and you just need to get this ride done, then this strategy, riding at the end of the night, is perfect. Not everybody is going to want to use this next strategy. However, if you can, it is a really great strategy, and that is using the single rider line. So there are just a handful of rides across the parks that have the single rider line. So what this does is you'll go through the single rider line queue, and you'll go all the way up and then you'll wait. And what you'll do is you'll fill in spots, of course, where they need to fill it in. So if you have a larger party and say you're teenagers or adults and all the way up and you don't mind splitting up, then what you'll do is you'll all wait together, but you won't ride together. So if standing in line, conversing, having fun that way, but then when you get on the ride, you know, doesn't matter so much, then absolutely use the single rider line. So single rider lines you're going to find in Hollywood Studios at Millennium Falcon, Smuggler's Run. You're going to also find it at Rock and Roller Coaster. In Epcot, you're going to find it at Test Track. And then you're also going to find it in Animal Kingdom at Everest, Expedition Everest, the Forbidden Mountain. In Magic Kingdom, there's no rides that technically have single rider line. However, if you get into Space Mountain, what you'll do is once you get all the way in, once the track, so there's a left track and there's a right track. So once you get up to where you're gonna split, you can tell that cast member that's right there that you are a single rider, and what they'll do is they'll put you to another line and you'll get on quicker. So that is just another option for you, but again, not everybody can use it because you can't split up little ones, you know, with the adults and that kind of thing. So, but if you can, excellent way to use that so you don't have to stand in line. Since I am all about details, here is a detail inside of a detail if you are just using the Disney Genie non-paid service. If a ride goes down during the day, there's like, you know, an hour, 2 hour period, What happens is all the people that have a lightning lane access, what they get is they get a message saying that they can come back as soon as the ride comes up. So what that does for the standby line for the people that have the non-Genie service or non-paid Genie service is they're basically going to be standing in line kind of stagnant for a little while because there's a ratio of the lightning lane people versus the people that are in the standby line. So if a ride goes down, what's going to happen is they are going to give preference to the people that paid for this service. So all of the people that are coming back for their lightning lane return time are going to start coming and lining up and going through the queue, meaning that the standby line is going to be a little longer. So you are going to need to kind of keep track of if any rides go down during the day before you get in that line. It may not say that it's going to be a long wait. Like if the ride just opens up and then you see that the ride just opens up, but the ride wait isn't very long and you get in line, what's going to happen is all of the people are going to start coming from the lightning lanes, and that line is going to be long, and they're going to prioritize those people, meaning that your wait time, which wasn't supposed to be very long, is going to be longer than what you expected. So don't go right back to a ride that has been down for a while and let all the people in the lightning lanes go first and then go get back in line later in the day for that ride. If you are leaning towards using the Disney Genie Plus, which is going to be the paid service, which is the $15 per person per day fee to be able to ride over 40 attractions across all 4 parks, then these are the strategies for you to make the most out of the Disney Genie Plus. First and foremost, you need to have a realistic expectation of what the Disney Genie Plus is going to be like in the park. So don't think that you're just going to be able to mosey on into the park, say at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and get everything done back to back to back to back to back. It does not work that way at all. So you absolutely need to have your must-do list ready and in order of importance. From that list for each individual park, you are going to need to know what the most popular rides are so you know what to choose first. What we are seeing with the Disney Genie Plus after a week of when I'm recording this is that it's actually very popular. So people are using it. So what that means for you, if you want to decide to use this or not, or whenever you use it on that day, is people are up early and choosing their ride. So that means that time slots will absolutely become unavailable. If you decide that you want to morning of get the Disney Genie Plus while you're there, make sure that you do this way in advance before the 7 a.m. mark. So you are able to, at midnight on the day that you are going to visit whatever park that you're going to, you're able to purchase the Disney Genie Plus. What you're going to want to do is you want to go in there, you're going to put in all of your information, credit card information, who all you're paying for, and get that done and out of the way. Don't wait until 7 a.m. to do that. 7 a.m. is the time that you want to start picking your rides. So just to give you an idea, Hollywood Studios is going to be probably the most tricky park with this because it has the most rides that everybody is wanting to go to. So if Slinky Dog Dash is on your list and you don't see a time slot until about 4 p.m., you're gonna wanna pick it and get that done and out of the way. But if you do that, then that comes in the 120-minute rule. And I'm gonna go into another video on that. So I'm gonna leave that link down below for you to go check out to explain the 120-minute rule. Using the Disney Genie Plus and you wanna keep your day as fluid as possible, absolutely do suggest that you rope drop, especially if you're staying on site. You're going to want to try and get those rides that are extremely popular and that won't have availability times until the end of the day or won't have availability times at all. So those rides are going to be in Hollywood Studios, are going to be Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, Slinky Dog Dash. We're also seeing that in Epcot with Test Track. With the Disney Genie Plus service, which is the paid option, you're going to find that you're going to have downtime, and that downtime is actually intentional. It is meant to help you slow down, be able to watch a show, watch a cavalcade, go get a snack, go shop, that kind of thing, and then go to your next ride and not have to wait very long. But if you are not wanting to watch a show and all of that, then you may have stretches of time that you're actually not doing anything. So if you are finding yourself kind of in that moment, you can always get into the app and refresh to see if something pops up closer. With the Disney Genie Plus at the moment, you cannot modify. So if something, as you're refreshing and something pops up earlier, you're gonna have to go in and cancel something that you had later in the day and then choose the thing that actually popped up for you that is going to be closer, so you don't have like an extended time period where you're just doing nothing. Or you can go and ride those filler rides. Let's roll with the Disney Genie Plus into the individual lightning lanes and your strategy for that. So if you haven't noticed, a lot has to happen at the 7 a.m. time mark for you, especially in Epcot right now with the virtual queue. And I'm sure down the line when Tron finally opens and Cosmic Rewind in Epcot. So right now, the only virtual queue that we have is Remy's Ratatouille Adventure in Epcot. That virtual queue opens at 7 a.m. Your strategy for in order, what you should do first is try to get the virtual queue first. If you cannot get into the virtual queue, you can wait until 1 p.m. to try to get in again. Or if you want, then try and buy your individual lightning lanes. From there, then you're going to want to use the Disney Genie Plus and start picking your lightning lanes according to what you want to do that day. So that is just if you're in a park that has a virtual queue. For strategies to not have to pay for those individual lightning lanes are, number one, know what a good wait time is to not pay for an individual lightning lane. So again, if it is 35 minutes or under, there's no need to pay for an individual lightning lane. I guess, again, of course, if you just absolutely just want to walk on, get it done, and then you need to be somewhere, of course, go ahead and pay for that individual lightning lane. Rope drop. If you're staying on site, then you're going to want to rope drop that ride. You want to be at the park 45 minutes earlier than that 30-minute early entry time so that you can walk very fast, don't run, to that ride and be able to get on those rides and knock those out before the ride waits get really, really long. Third strategy is going to be able to ride at the end of the night right before park closing. And choose to do those rides then. Of course, the only ride that will affect this is going to be any ride that's on a virtual queue, because a ride that's on a virtual queue is technically you can only ride it by joining a virtual queue. So you don't have the strategy of trying to ride it later. So the only strategy you have is either trying to get a boarding group at the time slot that you have available, which is right now the 7 a.m. time slot or the 1 p.m. time slot. If not, then it would be a good idea to go ahead and try and pay for the individual lightning lanes. Right now, when I'm recording this, the only individual lightning lanes that we have really seen sell out is going to be Rise of the Resistance. I'm sure that that will change whenever we get Tron, and then also in Epcot when we get Cosmic Rewind. Those probably will be ones that will sell out quickly. I know that this video had a ton of information that was thrown at you, but whenever you focus on whatever, if it's going to be the non-paid version, the Disney Genie or the Disney Genie Plus, or adding in the lightning lanes, whenever you decide on which way that you're going to go for your Disney vacation, then just focus on those strategies. That way you're just not overwhelmed with a whole bunch of information that you really don't need to know. Please, if you have any questions, drop them down in the comment box below and I will get back to you and answer them as soon as possible. I really do thank you for watching. If this was helpful, if you would please give it a thumbs up, because that tells me that I'm giving you the information that you're looking for. I'm Terry with Creating the Magic, and I break down Walt Disney World planning step by step and detail by detail. Have a magical day.